Hello, Aries. How are you? I'm going to talk for a little bit about the past couple of weeks and the energy. So if you're not interested in hearing that, there's a timestamp below and you can just skip straight to the tarot portion. For everyone else, hello. I am sorry that I went MIA for such a long time, but this Aries season literally knocked me on my ass. I do not remember an Aries season like this ever in my entire life, where every single week I was getting really, really bad news about every, personal life, professional life, financially, health, everything. So I was really getting attacked from every single corner, and I just could not help advise other people on living their best life when I was essentially in emotional shell shock. So I actually even was about to record a message a few weeks ago to just give up the channel. But I said, let me wait until the sun moves into Taurus and we'll see how we feel. So here we are. This was a very strange Aries season, as I mentioned. Usually the Aries energy is a fantastic wind in your sail where it just pushes you forward, and especially that period where all of the planets are moving direct, as they still currently are. But this year, and I don't know if it's for everybody, again, anyone who was born in 74 or who is a tiger is likely having the same sort of challenges that I did. This was not a nice push forward. It was a complete course correct. It was like, you're not going this way. You're going to go this way or this way. So putting things into place that would force you to make brand new decisions and start brand new things. And this full moon that just happened on the 16th was like, whoa, what a bitch. That was a nasty, nasty little moon in Libra, because it was square to Pluto, and that's never fun. So hopefully you had better months. I am here, however, to talk to you about the energy coming up for the next week, but also a little bit beyond. So first of all, this is a busy week energetically. April 25th, we move into Mercury shadow phase because Mercury will be going retrograde on May 10th. And so the shadow phase starts on the 25th. On the 27th, Venus conjunct Neptune. This is a lovely energies, very soft, very romantic, very la vie en rose. Now, since Venus is ruling the North Node, it's also somehow connected to a spiritual destiny or to moving your destiny forward through creativity, through Neptunian energy, which can be, it's where we join energies with others, and that can come through art, music, film, painting, any sort of thing where you lose yourself and join with the greater good, with the ethers, really. That's that kind of energy there. On the 29th, Mercury moves into Gemini, and on the 29th, Pluto goes retrograde. So this is our first retrograde, and the retrograde season starts, like hardcore. Pluto has been at this degree, 28, since March 10th, and it will stay there until June 22nd. Now that is a really fucking long time to be on the same degree, especially for a planet that's as irritating as Pluto. So it's like between March 10th and June 22nd, there may be one giant element where we have no control. And it could be an institution, government, police, banks, things like that. Or it can simply be a force, an immovable force that we can't change, where we're trying to move forward and it is just stuck, right? It's like, that you shall not pass here. So if there's an area in your life that's just like not moving and making you feel completely powerless, it's probably going to be that way until about June 22nd when Pluto starts to move again. So, you just kind of want to accept, like, wherever you're feeling stuck and out of control and powerless, just sort of accept that and move on, and do work on what you can control, right? Then on April 30th, we have a solar eclipse in Taurus at 10 degrees, 28 minutes. And the Sabian for that is a woman sprinkling long rows of flowers, right? Doesn't get more Taurian than that image there. And it's about, and when I read that, this will give you an insight into some of my worst music taste, but it reminded me of the rap that's in Justin Bieber's As Long As You Love Me, where they say the grass isn't greener on the other side, it's green where you water it, right? And it talks about where we devote our attention, where we devote our energy, and where you focus, what you focus on expands, or at least grows, develops. So this is about not necessarily seeing growth, but watering it into fruition. And the whole idea of watering it into fruition is interesting because we have still 4 planets in Pisces. There's Venus in Pisces, there is Mars in Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces, and Neptune in Pisces. And remember, as I said, Venus is controlling the north nodes, so it's connected to your destiny. So it's your emotional energy, like the key to your future now is less about what you do in the material world and more about what you do in the spiritual world, more about connecting with your emotional healing energy, about being even a healing force in the universe. And that's what takes you forward, right? That's where we water the flowers. Now, this, I would say that this eclipse is going to be a nice one because all the planets in Pisces are sextiling all the planets in Taurus, and those are nice things, except for the fact that it's conjunct to Uranus, and God only knows what could happen there. The last time we had an eclipse that made a contact with Uranus was in January 2020, which I think everybody remembers what happened shortly thereafter. So, who knows? But Uranus can also bring pleasant surprises. All we know is that you can expect the unexpected. Now, other things about the future here. So as I said, Mars is in Pisces, so expect energetic ups and downs. You might be sleeping more, you might be dreaming more. One day you may be like full of joy in life, and then the next day miserable and depressed, and the weight of humanity seems intolerable. Remember, we're gonna have to flow it out. As I said, as long as Venus is in Pisces, and she rules the nodes, anything about our destiny, anything about evolution, anything about moving forward is really gonna have to sort of flow towards it. So this is not a period that Aries love, because there's nothing we can do to make things happen. There's no way we can push things into being or knock down walls, because we have immovable Pluto, we have tons of water energy. So this is really very much about going with the tides, and learning how to read the winds instead of trying to control the elements, to allow yourself to adapt to them. Now, 2 other things. So the nodes are almost off the malefic fixed stars. That will happen in a couple of weeks. So that sort of like very angry and depressive energy. It's been a really nasty energy since they moved into Taurus, because there was a series of not so nice fixed stars there. It's moving off of those. However, Saturn is still squaring the nodes. Now, this does not help with the Pluto being so stationed. So it's been exact, the Saturn squaring the nodes exact since April 14th, and it separates in early May. But this is another thing where it's like you are getting challenged. Anything will be very hard to get off the ground right now. So, again, don't push. go with the flow, and let things sort of flow to you. Now, the other thing I wanted to mention, I don't usually, and then I'll end it with one piece of good news. I don't usually pay too much attention to this point or position, but which is a black moon Lilith. She moves every 10 months, right? And on April 15th, she moved out of Gemini and into Cancer. So a black moon Lilith is the feisty feminine, theoretically Adam's first wife. She didn't want to be submissive, so she left him. And it's about where you stand up for your beliefs, where you're willing to go it alone and buck society and, you know, say, fuck you, I'll do it my way. And it's a position of non-submission that moves into the sign of nurturing and motherhood. So the last time this happened was in June 13th to June 2013 to March 2014. So if you want some clues on how it might manifest in your life, look there. Issues around the mother. And it may be you fighting to nurture your mother, which is what's happening in my case. It may be you fighting to defend mothers, but there is some sort of place where you will not tolerate the status quo around nurturing and emotions and the mother, the home, the roots, things like that. Final astrological note, and this is a good one, so I figured I could close this part out on a good note, is that on May 11th, Jupiter moves into Aries, right? So Jupiter in Aries is phenomenal, and it's not like, he doesn't usually bring you like big, giant, life-changing, like, hey, you just won the lottery, but it's like every day, you know, those little tiny things that go in your favor. I remember the last time it happened for me when I had Jupiter conjunct my sun, it was like, I would go and someone would call me and be like, hey, I've got an extra pair of front row tickets to Lady Gaga. Do you want to go? It's like, yes. So all sorts of things like that. And that is happening in May 11th, which will be a very nice sort of gift after all of this energy that we've been dealing with up until now. Now, that said, let's move forward and look at the cards for the week. So, can I get the overall energy for Aries? April 23rd, week of April 23rd, 2022. Okay, impartiality. Which is the being balanced, right? And this is, like I said, this is very much Libra energy. This is not about pushing things forward, taking a side, but really trying to be objective about what's happening around you, being objective in dealing with other people as well. And it's kind of like the other thing I see here is you see how she has this violet necklace there and then the violet scarf, which are like it's almost like as the world around you is kind of forcing you to pick a side, to sort of cloak yourself in the protective violet flame energy and remain neutral. Okay, challenge energy. Okay, so challenge energy. Okay, so this is super interesting. So this is the Six of Pentacles, right? Which is about imbalance. And so the question here, this is really about remaining in balance, getting into situations that are equal. If someone is underneath, then, you know, where does that need to even out? Are you giving what you're getting? Are you being paid your fair share? Are you not compromising? Like if there's any sort of energetic imbalance right now, it needs to be brought back into harmony. And that may be simply getting back into balance after this Aries season. As I said, I know this is sort of like the first couple of days when I've been able to to not be like drowning in an emotional perspective and seeing the world as like out to get me. So, you know, looking at things very objectively, balanced, even. Can I get the lesson energy, please? Okay, there's 2 cards. So we have always a pleasure to see this one, Lord Ganesh, infinite abundance. And the Mahatvar Babaji, which is about the soul expansion. And it's interesting because these are both, you know, so we got 2 again, talking about, and they're both abundance cards. But remember what I said? It's like, this is kind of like the Venus. So the expansion into pleasure, beauty, there's a word that's not coming to me right now. Like touch, like tactile things, sensations, positive, pleasant sensations. And then this connected to your spiritual expansion. Like I said, that Venus and Neptune conjunction there is a really nice and powerful energy. But that they are connected, right? That your destiny and your ability to expand is very much connected to your spiritual world and your spiritual life. So maybe that's also what this balance is about, like balancing the energy that you're putting in the 3D with the energy you're putting in the 5D. And if you're putting only in 5D, then you need to put more into 3D, right? And that, I think that was the word, the reason why that word was like, it's really struggling to come to me, because it was really about material, you know, material manifestation. So there needs to be a balance between material manifestation and spiritual expansion at the same time, bringing those 2 into connection. That the way that your material experience expands is through the spiritual. They grow together. Okay, can I get starting and ending energy, please? For the week of the 23rd. Okay, so building blocks, definitely working on things. As I said, it may be coming in piece by piece. It may not be happening as quickly as you like, but it definitely is taking shape one piece at a time. Excuse me. An ending energy, please. Okay, and then this is the serendipity card in reverse. Now, when it's in reverse, it talks about, and that's interesting because this is a 9, right? Yeah, so 18, 9, this is a 10. So you may feel like things are going backwards. And when it's in reverse, this card, it talks about things not working out how you had planned, or not going, you know, like you had a plan for how this construction was going to look, and you expected things to fall into line, but it didn't work out that way. And just because it didn't work out that way doesn't mean it isn't the right thing that was meant to happen, right? So like this past month, if you, like I, went through some severe course correctors, it's not your life not going according to plan, it's your life not going according to your plan, you know? But it's definitely going according to a higher plan, and where you are meant to be. All right, can I get 3 cards, please? All right, Page of Pentacles. Two more. King of Swords. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll take that, and I'll take these two. All right, so we have 10 of Pentacles here, right? So Page of Pentacles, King of Swords, 10 of Pentacles. This is kind of an unusual coupling, but, and then let's see what these three here. So we've got 8 of Wands, Knight of Wands, and Ace of Wands. Okay, so all right, so we have Page of Pentacles, which is like, you know, young energy, youthful energy, doesn't have much to offer, right? Or it's like, could have been like a new plan. Yeah, there's that 10 of Swords, but it's at the bottom of the deck that we're not looking at. You know, it's like you may have been working on something here. Here's this objective impartiality energy. And here we have the abundance. So to me, these mirror these three cards right here. You know, it's like talking about bringing things in. What are you bringing to the table? Are things equal? Looking at things in a very objective manner, and the question of abundance. Now here we have, I feel like the story is more in these wands, especially since we're like fire, because we're like fire signs. 8 of Wands here. So much shit coming at you, right? And it's like, look at him. He's like charging into that battle there. And so had a lot coming at you, felt like you were fighting a war, right? Maybe like a personal war, or you were going into battle, perhaps for something you believed in, or perhaps, you know, perhaps it just came at you. And what you were left with, you know, so there may have been some loss, as this suggests, going from the 10 to the 9 and plans not working out according to your original plans. But what you have is a new beginning, right? Which is also this. So you may have wanted to be a lot further along. It's what I'm getting here is that, like, if you look at the situation with objective eyes, you'll see that the path you've been put on through after weathering the storm is actually much more abundant, has more potential for abundance than the one that you were on before. Or whatever, like, so whatever was taken away, whatever ended at that Libra new moon, full moon, excuse me, that was the universe course correcting. That was it saying like, yeah, I know you got your plans, but I have a better plan for you. So you're just going to have to trust me that whatever watershed moment you may have had in the past month, that it's connected to being able to put you in a better place, right? Where you can feel more abundant, where you can feel more passionate about what you're doing, where you can feel, where you have a renewed sense of passion. And so to kind of, despite all of the water energy right now, and the fact that we have Mars in Pisces, which may make us not able to see situations clearly, to really evaluate what's happening around you with maximum impartiality, right? See the opportunity in the new, right? Or where is this spiritual growth helping you grow? Because this is the Pentacles, right? So it's very much about, and here we have no major arcana. So this is very much about life on the ground here and what's happening on the ground here. But we have this soul expansion. So it is trying to put you onto a more abundant path in the material sense, right? And again, the material doesn't always mean money, but that something that you would feel it. But that there had to be some sort of course correction, or like you had to go through this battle, whatever this battle was that you were challenged with. It was to give you some sort of emotional soul expansion so that you might discover a new form of abundance, right? And it could be something like as basic as you got so stressed during Aries season that you started meditating, right? And meditating is helping you feel calmer and deal with people in a better way. So it can be as little as that, or as gigantic as, one income stream was taken away and replaced with another, or at least now you have to look for a different income stream because one was taken away. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. I wanted to, since we're moving into Mercury territory, get some advice from him. And remember, again, like I said, there are these two positions that are not playing to our favor. With this Pluto being stationed for so fucking long, and the Saturn squaring the nodes for a month. Like Saturn square the nodes is nothing can move forward there. But it's a choice point, which means that the choice is ultimately up to you, right? It blocks growth so that you can see the options, figure out what the options are, and then choose what's the right thing to do for you. But it makes the choice difficult. It is not an easy choice, right? And so if you feel like you keep building things and then the universe keeps flipping them on your head, or flipping them on their head and taking them away, and plans never work out the way that they're supposed to, it's because they're trying to push you into a different space where you can figure out, like, what's the one thing, or what's the new thing? Where's the course correct that I'm going to have that's going to bring me that infinite abundance ultimately? But it has to come through this spiritual expansion. Okay. Advice for our Aries. And it's funny because the card I'm looking at over here on this deck here is the Peace, right? And this is what I said. Now is not the time to try and force anything. Just like accept what is and do what you can where you can. Water the flowers that you can. Don't try and, don't try and raise 4-leaf clovers. Water where you can. Like wherever you water will grow. So water what you can. Do not push where you are getting resistance. All right, so we have feathers, which is a message. Let's see here. When you ask for guidance, Spirit responds without fail. The universe has been sending you messages in reply to your questions, but you have blocked your ability to notice them. And that's where that impartiality will come in. You may have been hoping for guidance for so long that you are focused on the asking rather than on the receiving. Ask yourself this: do you really want an answer? If yes, then start to become aware of the replies that come to you from Spirit. Keep vigilant, for the answers come in many different forms: as an overheard conversation relevant to your question, as a song playing on the radio, in words spoken by a friend, or in other ways, including the sight of a beautiful feather falling in your path. And the incantation is: upon the wind whispers ride, messages on feathers fall far and wide, signals come in form and sound, I see answers all around. And other divinatory meanings here: your prayers are being answered. The answers are all around you. A past loved one, spirit guide, even an angel, whichever form you are drawn to the most, has a message for you for your highest good. Watch carefully for nature's delivery of messages from the spirit world. So interesting. This may be another, message here that comes up, that in order to receive this message from the universe, this abundant message from the universe, you must be in an impartial state and open to seeing and receiving the message that comes in. And then I'll do one last word of advice here, because this is getting very long. Okay, final words. Okay, no. Final words for Aries, please. Okay. Wild compassion. Ascended Master Buddha and Peridot. 32, 5. So that is, a turning point. It says here, we bring you the blessing of wild compassion. What if a restriction now could prepare... What if a restriction now could prepare you to receive greater freedom in the not too distant future and to be able to appreciate and enjoy and fully receive that freedom, right? So like I said, that block from Pluto and the block from Saturn are there on purpose. Whatever you can't move is there on purpose to bring you that abundance later. So what if growing pains now would strengthen you to be ready to receive a life-changing opportunity headed your way? What if rest and time to just be at this moment would help you build up your reserves of vital energy for a time in the future when you will be asked to step up, perhaps to lead or use your energy in some way to support many? Wild compassion is at work in your life, and you can trust that it knows what you need and when, and will deliver it to you with unsurpassed grace. That is insane. And a perfect wrap up to this reading here. So I wish you all a very lovely week. And I count on seeing you again next week. Take care.